Welcome back to the Good Talk, where we talk about what's hot, what's grot, both Warhammer and otherwise. I'm joined on the couch today by John. What's up, John?
This pillow smells funny. Hey, guys.
We have Mel running tech. What's up, Mel?
I had not seen that intro yet, so that was funny.
It's a great intro.
It's a great intro.
Yeah.
And it has intro music from Cartoon Network, but it's a particular era. Cartoon. Yes. See, Adrian's in the background guiding me. It's basically got cartoon
That's true.
music.
Yeah.
Which took us a while. It took me a while to figure out. Adrian probably knew that the whole time. He chose the music. We just played a game.
It was fun. Look, it was not what I expected.
Oh.
It was very fun. A lot of back and forth, punching it out. But yeah, we talked about it already.
Oh, we're done. Look, that was our game. Death Guard Sisters. Go watch the game. Why we?
It's like we had a stream for that. And
We
do
had
you
a
know
whole
what we're talking about this stream?
What are we talking about?
The new update. Well, the new tidying up of things.
The changes.
The changes.
Boom.
That were sort of like quietly unannounced just happened on the app, and then people were like, oh.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of websites posted.
Is that what an errata is? Is that errata?
Often erratas are announced.
I guess. It's like a quiet patch. It's a silent patch.
Yeah, it's like a patch with no patch notes, and you just have to figure it out.
Yeah.
It's like a choose your own adventure patch notes.
Yeah.
Let's take a look.
Let's do it.
There were a lot of changes. What we're going to talk about today is not the typo fixes. There were a lot of typo fixes. In fact, like 85% of the changes were just like...
it's like, this is what we intended. We've made it more clear for you.
Yeah.
But it's not just that. It's the other 20% that they actually, dare I say, maybe balanced or tried to balance, maybe put things in line.
Yeah.
And I think what we're trying to do, we're going to show a few of these rules. We're going to try to decide, is this what they originally intended? Or is this them trying to rebalance everything? That's right.
Yeah, just to briefly address, I know a lot of players were expecting the next batch of changes to be a balance patch. To say like, oh man, this stuff's too strong, let's bring it down, and that stuff's too weak, bring it up. But this is kind of what I expected, and I think we all have to temper our expectations when looking at changes to Warhammer. It's a big game, a lot of changes to be made, but this was the official, we goofed, let's fix some typos errata, which is why I think they were largely didn't want to announce it. Is just like we goofed, here's some mistakes, and we're going to fix them.
Yeah.
So let's get right into it. Here's the first non-typo thing.
Yes, Wraithguard don't gain pistol when they're in combat. This means their ability is like a reprisal. You attack them. After that activation, they shoot back at you. That means if they're in combat, they gain pistol and they can still shoot at you. This is no longer a thing. This means Wraithguard aren't charging in their turn, getting attacked back by a bunch of like cultists, and then shooting them in your turn.
What do you think, typo or tune-up?
This is a tune-up. Or sorry, tune down? Is it always?
They're tuning up the game. The game's getting tuned up.
This is a tune-up to the game. A tune down for the Wraithguard. It's a nerf, obviously. They definitely intended for this ability to have pistol. They call it out clearly. Now it just doesn't have pistol.
Yep.
And the pistol's gone.
Well, you know.
Now it just shoots normally once they have received an attack.
Elves.
Boom. Elves, really
good.
good.
What are you going to do?
I mean, this is one of the more popular units, so it's good that we're seeing some type of nerf into them. There's not, I mean, other than points, what else can you do to nerf these Wraithguards? So it makes sense. It's good.
Cool.
On to the next rule.
GSC. They probably the most changes.
Yes, they are,
3 whole bullets.
Eldari and the GSC, the most blatantly good. They're over 50% win percentage, way over everyone else's, like way below. And so GSC models, now blips, have to come within 3 inches, wholly within 3 inches of these blips. This is huge. We'll stop here for a second and just say this means that not every unit coming back after it dies can fit within within 3 inches of a blip.
Yeah.
A lot of the bikes, a lot of jackals, think of how big those bases are. Full squad, definitely not fitting. Although a 20-man unit of neophytes can just can just barely fit. I'm sure you'll have to like math it out and get some geometry, some geography in. Second bullet point, jackals. Jackal only bomb once per round.
Right, they have an ability that lets them move when they shoot, and it's a normal move, which in theory triggered this bomb thing. No more. It was dumb. It was stupid. We all hated it.
Yeah, this is like an obvious, like, this is how the rule is intended to work. They just had to reiterate more because people are going to try to get away with as much as they can in a competitive setting. Bullet point number 3, blips create new units. So it's not the same unit just coming back to life. It's a brand new unit. That unit that died is dead forever. Brand new unit coming back. And so demo charges reload. It's a once per game ability. These demo charges, now they just get refreshed when they come back. This is extremely strong, and this is how a lot of players were trying to play it, but it was kind of ruled in most circuits.
It was pretty suspect.
Yeah. It seemed really strong. So this is actually a buff. Like, these aren't all bad things. And the wholly within 3 inches of a blip when you come back is kind of negligible. The demo charges reloading, huge change. Yeah. Huge. This is a lot of damage. And it's things that now it's a short-ranged demo charge that you're now just chucking in just to reload again after they die. Super good.
Yeah, this seems like a typo where they, like, this was not a tune-up. They weren't like, oh, let's buff GSC. This was a typo.
Yes.
And I think they just went the wrong way with the typo. They should have lived with it. It's stupid to have these units come back with their demo charges.
I mean, when you get into the head lore, like, it's obviously a new unit. Like, the same unit, like, they're all about, like, throwing away the masses. This whole, like, civilization or city is rampant with these infected, gene stealer cult guys.
But in my headcanon, like, not everybody has all the special weapons. Like, when I picture gene stealer cult, I'm not like, yeah, 4 in every 20 guys has this fancy gun, and another 4 in every 20 guys has this other fancy gun, and all of them have demo. Like, it just doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't add up to me. So if we're going headcanon, look, I hate it. I'll just say it. I hate this change. I think this will get rolled back in all likelihood. I don't think this will last.
I mean, it's probably a patch that's going to get repatched later on in a balancing way. So this is interesting. When you play against GSC now, you're probably more likely to keep GSC units alive that have demo charges and just tying it up rather than killing it to get back lost ground. Now you're trying to just tie things up if you ever are crossed with that decision. Okay, next. Boom, Imperial Knights. This is an interesting change. A change that I would say in mass Imperial Knight players didn't think it worked this way, but they were forced to play this way. It's interesting. It's like weirdly specific. So they only get to reroll a single hit wound and hit and wound from the vow. Is it a single reroll of 1?
Yeah.
Is this how it works? Yeah. It's if you roll a 1, you get to reroll it, and it's 1 dice.
You get to reroll a single 1 to hit and a single 1 to wound every time that you attack.
Right.
Which
everyone thought it was either reroll all 1s or reroll just any missed roll or missed wound roll.
So this one I think is a tune-up, but I think this was not what was making Knights broken. Like this was, I guess, a feather in their cap. It was nice. It was convenient.
Yeah.
But the rule was clearly written, at least in my opinion, it was clearly written to say you reroll your 1s.
Yeah.
So this feels like it wasn't a typo. It was just like a, how do we fix Knights? Okay, people think this is ambiguous. Well, we'll just pick the weaker of the 2 ambiguous interpretations. Yeah. This is another change I think I disagree with. I think they need to fundamentally find and fix the problem with Knights rather than be like nickel and diming Knight players on their rules.
That's what it feels like, right? I agree as well. I agree. Good stuff.
So that's that one. Is there one more after this? There's one more change here.
One more. Necrons. Crypto Thralls. Don't grant fight on death to the unit. This was already pretty contentious. Yeah. Not every Necron player was doing this, but it's a strong ability. Transcendent Catan gains reanimation. I don't actually know of any Necron players that were playing this reanimation protocol. I guess it feels natural if you came from 9th to...
Well, it's just like everything in the whole book has ran.
Right.
To be honest, if I had ever played a Transcendent, I would have played it as it had
Like
though
a
it had
living
reanimation.
metal. Yeah.
Because I just wouldn't have looked for I looked at enough data sheets and it was on all of them that I stopped looking.
Yeah.
So I
think
would have
this makes
just
sense.
and Chow would be like, actually, it does not have it, and I probably would have waved them away, as GW did
You're
here.
a liar.
Be like, yeah, but it clearly is supposed to.
Yeah.
Which this is a buff for Transcendent Catan. It's noteworthy. This it feels like a typo where it's like, yeah, that's the way it was always supposed to be. It's noteworthy that they did not make Transcendent Catan's epic heroes, and I think there's arguments both ways, and I think GW kind of painted themselves into a corner design-wise on this, where they said, okay, epic heroes, you can only have one of each. Like, they're named characters. You get one Gilliman, you get one Abaddon, you get one Shard of the Void Dragon, right?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want to do that to Transcendent Catan. You've always been able to have 3. You should continue to be able to have 3. They're not special. It's just like a guy in a bottle. You just...
Got a Pokemon.
You have a bottled guy, yeah. But they did not want you to be able to have enhancements on Transcendent Catan, as far as I know. In the history of Necrons, you've never been able to put upgrades on Catan because they're not Necrons. That's the point. It's like it's a guy in a bottle. You're not like, well, this is my king guy in a bottle. No, still just a guy in a bottle. But they made it so that Epic Hero does both these things, and they want it. They can't have it both ways.
Right.
So they left them as not Epic Heroes, which means you can take enhancements on them. At the very end of that game, when we were announcing the Saturday game, I started to voice an opinion that I don't think this is okay. I don't think they should be allowed to have the Necrodermis. I'll play it.
The weave.
Begrudgingly.
Yeah.
Sorry, Necrodermis they always have. The
Weave.
Temperternal, Sempiernal weave?
Yeah, something like that. The 4-up Feel No Pain on this huge character.
That's half damage and regains wounds.
T11 now heals. I mean, it's strong. It's very strong, but it's expensive, to be fair. It's like 290 points. So it's expensive.
More durable than Mortarion.
That's so true.
Tell you what.
Don't tell Mortarion. Or actually, just don't tell the Death Card at all.
Don't tell anybody.
Amazing. I think we have maybe one more after this. Yeah, Tyranids. So this is a typo from Mr. Adrian.
Barbgaunts.
Barbgaunts cannot split fire to slow multiple units. This is a very cheap and new unit. I think it's 50 points for 5. They're 10 points a model. And so their whole thing is halving movement. And so if you just shoot several places, if you have line of sight with their 24-inch gun, then you're just slowing everything.
Yeah.
But now their intention was actually pick one unit, slow them down.
Yeah.
That's what you should be doing. You obviously weren't doing damage and killing all those 5 units. You should be targeting one thing anyways. So boom.
Yeah, this one isn't a surprise to me. There's a bunch of places where you can like battle shock one unit that you fired at, or there's a lot of these abilities that are like, do a special thing for a thing you shot at. One thing that you shot at.
Right. Excellent. I think that's all. We're going to take some super chats. If you do want to super chat, feel free to. We'll be glad and happy to answer your questions.
Sounds excellent. First super chat of the day, or well, of this stream, Cyrix, hey Titans, been working on my Thousand Suns list, was able to make it 3 Mutolith Beasts, 2 TSuns Sorcerers, 1 Source and Terminator Armor, 3 squads of Rubrics, 2 Scarab Terminator squads, Magnus, and Armon.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
I was like maybe considering Mutolith, 2 Mutolith Vortex Beasts. You're on to 3 already?
All in.
He's all in. He's like, and I see like the decision, right? It's like, look at all my beasts. Great targets to shoot at. They're durable, but you can kill them. Please don't shoot Magnus.
Look at all my beasts.
Yeah, my little pet doggies.
It's Magnus bought the farm.
Yeah,
That's the list. Magnus bought a farm.
And so I like it. Like they only have so many anti-tank, anti-monsters, so you force 4 monsters down their throat, they can only kill so many. TSuns Sorcerers are the way to go. Well, I like Exalted Sorcerers because you get the 4-up invuln. It makes things more durable. The regular Sorcerers, I think, are giving sustained hits. Something. They do some other utility buff, and I think they have a cool psychic weapon. I like Exalted. Of course, you need the 1 Sorcerer in Terminator armor. I like the 3 rubrics. I think the way to go is to take little small squads of rubrics. Hopefully you're taking some flamers if you're taking that relic for the teleport. 2 Scarab Terminator squads. I assume these are 2 5-man because you already are pretty tight on points. Cons of having 3 beasts. I've disagreed about this before. Disagreed. I like 1 big block of 10 just because they are a huge damage multiplier when next to Magnus. You're making their psychic weapon psychic. They're getting plus to hit, plus to wound. You only want to be spending that strat on 1 person, maybe 2 if it's free. And having 10 just makes sense for that huge, like big Hadouken, that laser beam unit. It's amazing. Ahriman, also really good. Plus 1 to wound. Good list.
You nailed it, John.
Thank
That was
you so much. John
great
killed
feedback.
it. Thank you, disciples of Asmodai. Howdy, Titans. Excited for this weekend. Currently on the way to ATC playing TSuns. Hope to see other Titan fans there.
ATC is Atlanta tournament.
Yeah, it's an East Coast thing,
of
maybe
the city.
Midwest. Yeah.
Atlanta tournament circuit.
Cool.
American Tower
Now he's
circle.
He's continuing to make up stuff.
I'm pretty sure on the Discord we have a tournament page where people can
Yes.
link up. So totally.
Make sure Asmodai, you are checking that channel out. I'm sure we have a lot of friends in that area, so I'm sure they'll
Find some friends while you're there.
Yeah. Boom. Exciting. We're jealous. We wish we could be there.
And have fun.
Very cool. TSuns, so good. They're actually like one of the really solid A-tier armies. They're not like super broken. You're in a good place. Have fun. I think you're gonna hopefully dodge some nerf hammers.
Maybe.
Any chance it's the American Team Championship?
That
Will
sounds
said
right.
In chat.
Oh,
That's-
team champ. Yeah, okay.
Those words.
That's
match
actually
the
what
letters.
came to mind, and then Bridger said a bunch of stuff.
I said Atlanta tournament circuit.
Which is usually on the East Coast, to be fair, or
Atlanta is usually on the East Coast.
no, the American Team Tournament.
But that's AT&T, not AT. American Team Championship.
Wouldn't you call
Team
Atlanta
champion.
like the South?
Well, but it's on the East Coast, though.
I don't know, man.
It's on the coast that is on the eastern. Like I'm not saying like New England. I'm saying it's on the eastern seaboard, right?
I
Like,
can't wait till all the map memes.
I'm bad at geometry, all right?
We are from California and it's showing. Thanks so much, and definitely post in the Discord in the tournament page. Thank you, Cole Wright. Hello, Titans. Death Guard has been my main army since 8th. How do you feel about Morty as take or not take for games?
I think you have to take him,
Yeah, I mean,
which is unfortunate because he's not amazing. For
he's
his
like a good
points.
pick for Death Guard.
Right. He's like one of the best things in the book, and you're like, man, wish I weren't spending all these points on this guy.
Michelle's is as important as Magnus.
Yeah. But within the book, he is a very big force multiplier. He lets you ignore penalties. He gives you the only wound rerolls in the entire book. He can keep stuff alive by giving them cover. He's an aura of cover. Kind of cute.
Oh.
And he's one of your only anti-tank. Now, he's not reliable. I will say that. But he's one of the only things in the book
Barely
that
killed a
can
rhino.
deal with big stuff.
That's good, and he's also the fastest thing in your army by far.
He's tied for the fastest with a rhino or a plague bruise crawler
Sure.
or the bloat drones. Like he moves 10, which is the fastest in the
10,
book.
not 12. Wow, he just is
He
slower than Magnus. He does
Yeah.
less damage than Magnus.
Yeah, he honks. he's having a rough time. Morty, look, the Emperor hates Morty, so here he is.
Checks out.
Thanks so much. Thank you, Andrew Middlemoss. Hey, Titans. Curious about some sisters tech. Sacrosands with Hospitalers, 10 bodies with 3, 4, all the pluses, to be significantly more annoying to remove than a normal T3 body.
Yes, I think Sacrosanct especially just have so many good options in terms of characters that they can add.
Yeah.
Hospitaler is like tied, not maybe
Tied with Judith?
Tied with the thing with Junith is like you get one of her. So if you, I would want to take, if we had more Sacrosants, I want to take more Sacrosants. So those are getting Hospitalers. Sacrosants are so good. What? They're so good.
They're so medium.
What do you
They're
mean?
aggressively medium.
What do you love them now?
Yeah.
They're not. It's like the Mortarian problem. It's like they're the best thing.
No,
for sisters.
Zephyrim are so good.
But you're taking just small units anyways. You fit them in the list. They're cheap. They're like 80 points, I think. You're taking up all of them anyways. They're utility. They're different roles. This is an anvil unit that stays on points.
But
you know? And now you're resurrecting, and you're getting a Feel No Pain. So good. I agree with you. I think spamming 4-up invulns, so good. And resurrection. So good.
Thanks.
So good.
Thanks so much, Andrew. Thank you, Kate and Scouts Vids.
Whoa.
Heastan leading Command Squad, Terminator Librarian leading Assault Terminators, Tech Marine, and 2 Min and Furnace with 2 units of Eradicators, 2 Contemptors with multi-Meltas, each with 1 Dev with Lascans, each 1 Rhino, 1 Land Raider Redeemer, 1 Whirlwind. Any thoughts?
So we have Volcanistan. This is Salamanders.
Yes. This is an interesting list. It's different from what I would do, but it's not bad. It's actually not bad. I don't know. Bridger's just like whispering my ear.
I'm like going through this list and I'm like, what would I
It makes sense. Like it's concise. Like everything has a purpose. We have to keep in mind that Salamanders are not going to be top tier. They're a solid B.
It's hard to compete with Gilliman in the line.
Yeah, I think they're solid B tier at best. And so I think this falls in line. I think this is close to as good and concise of a list as you can get.
So we got to work backwards. What goes in the Rhino? What goes in the Land Raider? I think they're putting the Assault Termies in the Land Raider.
Yeah, of course.
And I think the Devs go in the Rhino.
Right.
I call into question. I call to the stand a Whirlwind. Who are you and why? What is your purpose, Whirlwind?
So Whirlwinds are quite popular at tournaments because they are the only source to slow you down, and they're indirect, and they're actually quite a good weapon. It's 2 damage, AP2, solid strength. I think it's 6, and it's a good amount of shots. It's going to stay on the back, and it's going to do a lot of just indirect holding objectives.
I see the appeal. It's just one of those units where every time I've leaned on it, like when it's one of those things when you need it most, it fails.
It's just supposed to be annoying. That should be your expectation. It's annoying. I think, and this is coming from an Eldari standpoint. All these Space Marine players trying to be like Eldari. They're Night Spinners. Night Spinners are just better. They do way more damage. They have devastating wounds. But for a Space Marine standard, I think it's solid.
You need Inceptors. Oh, you were just saying the Whirlwind. Okay,
the Whirlwind.
Whirlwind's fine. I would either cut the Whirlwind or Contemptor to get Inceptors in. You don't have any scoring in this entire list. Anywhere. Everything here is expensive and relatively fragile for its points cost. So you need scoring. I would say Inceptors.
Infernus can be pretty dynamic, but not.
They're just
it
not
can't be everything, right?
Yeah.
You definitely want. Gosh. You definitely want Inceptors or. You definitely. I feel like you should be dropping the Contemptors. Just like 2 Contemptor bodies for just a multi-melta is pretty expensive, and they're not. I feel like they're not durable enough. So
-1 damage isn't what it used to be. Yeah.
I think Eradicators could go a long way. I think even like Aggressors.
They are in chat, and their counterpoint is Inceptors are so boring.
Well,
arguable.
I mean, scoring points can be viewed as boring. I played all of 9th edition trying to mess them up and not score points, right? But I was viewed a lunatic because I just wanted to go to battle,
Yeah.
not screw around with these silly points.
Give keep in mind you can make Inceptors fun. You can put them in fun situations where they're like able to.
Guys, Inceptors.
Sounds like dressing up the dog. He's like, look, I can make the dog fun. You put a little hat on him. It's fun.
We had a little hat. But devs are cool. Like you're gonna have to work a lot harder. You can't just drop them in anywhere you want, 3 inches away.
Drop pod. Oh, John, that's what makes this list have a really cool twist. Is you get a drop pod up in here and you make your own Inceptors.
If you've been playing.
These are the Inceptors at home, okay? We have devs in a drop pod. And the drop pod's going to do the action.
Put a little jump pack and 2 pistols on that drop pod. Drop. It's an Inceptor.
I love this alternative.
It's going to be fun. I like it. You're going to do a lot of damage. I can tell that you're leaning more towards damage rather than utility. So it's going to be a fun time. But you might have a drop pod, since if you played Salamanders for a while, you probably have a drop pod.
Dude, drop pod makes this list even more fun. I guarantee it. Try it. The drop pod will do the actions. Right? That's the angle people forget with drop pods. It's a unit. It can do actions.
That's cool.
I like this.
We got you.
Excellent.
Good luck. Have fun.
Much. Have fun. Thank you, Acid Usagi. Yeah. If you were strapped on a machine to repent your sins for the rest of your life, what kind of weaponry would you want it to have?
Now, is this like a mortifier situation? I mean, a coffin? Or is this like a regular penitent engine? I'm just like out
You're just
in
out
the
there
wind?
in the wind. There's a bunch of toilet paper to hold it together. I would want just flamers and melee weapons. Flamers and saws.
Flamers?
Just get it over with. Send me in close range. Let me die. Let me die for this emperor.
I'm with you, but I think flamers would be an unpleasant way. Like, they're real close to you, John.
Look, it's cold. It's probably cold outside. You're just
okay.
You're not wearing much, Bridger.
Okay, but like, we don't take people with frostbite and we're like, here you go, we'll just put you in the oven. We're gonna put you in the oven and then it'll be fine.
Look, you ain't gonna be in the oven for long, because you ain't gonna be around for long.
Can I be in a mortifier? I want to be in a coffin, okay? I don't want to be exposed to all this stuff.
To the elements. You know there's like torture devices in the coffin.
That's okay. Look, life is pain. I'm already strapped to an engine. I don't want to be covered in napalm from the flamers and...
That's like going everywhere. Like not all of it's on fire, so it's like spraying everywhere, and then like you finally like light the guy on fire, and then you go in for the saw, and you're just like you just like light up like a Christmas tree.
It's made of wood. The penitent engine's made of wood.
Your coffin's gonna be made out of wood, dude.
What a question, huh?
Yeah,
What a beautiful question. Thanks so much. Thank you, Lord Alfarius. How do you beat GSC with Custodes or Knights, especially playing a game of whack-a-mole against them? Come down to the Martinez RTT this Saturday. We'd love to have you over again.
Oh.
This Saturday, John. Well, I have a live stream this Saturday. With Knights, I think it's actually quite challenging.
You think so? I think both of these are the factions to beat Knights, in my opinion.
To beat GSC?
Or sorry, GSC. To beat GSC.
Yeah.
Knights.
So I kind of showed, if you go back and you look at Custodes versus GSC, was that in the 10th tournament?
Yes. You knocked them out early. GSC didn't even have a chance.
It was...
You messed up everyone's brackets.
Yeah, well...
Immediately.
They should have faith in the Golden Boys. But if you go back and watch that game, I think that was like a masterclass on what you do to GSC to make them not have a way to play the game. You stand on objectives.
Yes. I learned this last game
aggressively.
Too. Wow, I needed to take your notes from the last game, because I learned that like halfway through my GSC game with Adrian, and I'm just like, oh, I should have just been standing on these objectives and killing you.
You become a bulldog. Yeah. You guard your objectives aggressively.
Don't give an inch. Cover the whole objective. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think Knights are good.
That's an argument for Knights. I just think Knights get overwhelmed. Knights play the attrition game with GSC. GSC just whittle down your Knights and they take you off the board.
That is the fear, right? I think, and then with that, in mind. I think you just have to make sure you don't bite off more than you can chew.
Mm-hmm.
I think you pick, 2 or 3 objectives, and you're just like, these are mine. I'm trying for nothing else. Whatever you give me, I will shoot. And my big knights with flamers are going to flame you if you get close.
Valiant, yeah.
Towering will shoot you every turn, and everything else is standing on this objective. And that's where I live. So yeah.
That's where I live, yeah.
Thanks so much. Thank you, Caldorf. My Ravenwing bikes are getting the boot. Kinda sad. Trying to find a way to convert them into Black Knights. Not really excited to start
cutting into them?
Starting cutting into them. Any thoughts? Run as Outriders, dump for Termies?
Oh man, that's sad. Even the prospect of dumping them, because they're such a cool unit. And Black Knights are definitely not, I don't know, optimal, right? Their melee weapons are just not amazing. The shooting is okay for what they are. They're fast.
This is like a deep question of GW has like publicly essentially said they're not going to support a whole line of models anymore. There's a lot of firstborn models
Marines,
that are just gone.
and it's Marines. It's popular. A lot of people have these models. If you've been playing across editions, you probably for sure have these models.
So the options are, you have discontinued models. The options are play them as legends and just
Have fun.
Just keep playing them. Play them as something else, either via conversion or just counts as.
Yep.
Hope that they reverse course on this and that you can play them again as the original thing.
Doubtful.
Or like physically turn them into something else, right? Through like heavy conversion, you make them something else. Those are like your 4 options. I don't know. I haven't had to deal with this yet. I don't have experience with this. In theory, we're like GW says we're all just supposed to play Legends. Right? That was like the message they were putting out there is like, oh yeah, just keep playing with them. We just won't really write good rules for them anymore. I don't know, man. Oh, man. It's tough.
This is a tough question. And Termies are probably going to be the one to make it into your event list if you're playing at a main event anywhere. It's probably going to be Termies that supersede anything on a bike. But I think you really should try Black Knights because it has more character to what you're trying to run. And I think they're going to be really cool and fun to play with in your Ravenwing. So do Ravenwing, Black Knights, but Terminators is what you're probably going to have to grab for your public games, I guess.
Yeah.
Good question. Sorry, Caldorf.
Thanks so much. Thank you, Seacog. Highly recommend Grow Tent for 3D printing filtration. Airtight, keeps the smell in. Also built-in support for air filtration.
Ooh.
Does make your landlord look at you funny though.
Why is your landlord in your apartment?
How is your apartment never gets? They never let come in?
No. Is that a thing? Is that normal?
Yeah, they just have to give you a 24-hour notice.
That?
Our landlord is very nice, incredibly nice, but does show up quite a bit.
That's
really.
Yeah.
I guess like some large corporation owns.
Oh yeah, you have like a company that owns like your apartment building.
Right.
Thing. You have like a, yeah.
I
guess they care less.
I've lived in a lot of apartments all across the country and never really had a landlord, except when I lived with them. Like when I rented a room from somebody,
Sure.
They were like checking in, but there were occasional like fire code inspections, but usually it wasn't even the landlord. It was like some maintenance person. Like where I live now, they'll have a maintenance person come around with a clipboard pretending to write things, but clearly not be writing anything because my smoke alarms are all taken out and they're all just like on a table.
Wait, what? Oh my, that is definitely
they
a
don't say anything. They don't care. They're clearly just pretending to write stuff on a clipboard. They don't care at all.
Now we have bigger concerns. Seacag, if you can DM me the Grow Tent you have in Discord, because yeah, I hate the smell of our 3D printer and do think Adrian should not be sitting next to our 3D printer all the time.
Yeah, that's probably pretty unhealthy.
Yeah.
It's a resin 3D printer?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you shouldn't.
Thank you, Seacog.
We opened the window. Totally fine.
That's like me taking all my smoke alarms out and saying, well, I have an electric stove. You know, there's no fire. It'll be fine.
It's gonna be fine. Thanks so much, Pantor. Do units gain the leader keywords when they join the unit? Example, Abs of Steel joining Terminator Squad, will they gain all the gods keywords? If they do, do you know where it is in the rules?
I thought they were just asking if they got the character keyword. Well, they said the leader keywords.
So, oh my gosh, where's the leader keyword? Is it bottom? They get all the bottom left keywords. The faction keywords and then like the keyword keywords. It's not the top right keywords. So if you don't get deep strike abilities, right? From a character joining a squad. You don't get scout keyword if you join a squad. Depending on where this where the god keywords are, I think it's bottom left. I think you do. Oh yes, for sure. You definitely get all the faction keywords.
Abs of Steel is Abaddon.
Abaddon. That's
and
the epiphany.
He does give all the god keywords. Yes.
I just put that together as I was saying that last time.
He does give all the god keywords.
I thought it was.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I had aberrance and abominance.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking.
Yeah, like Muscle Beach, Abs of Steel.
I was like, well, how are they joining Terminators? Exactly. Yeah. Doesn't have Terminators.
No, we were on the same page. It's Abaddon.
Yeah, Abs of Steel.
Yeah.
So Abaddon? Yes, you get them all.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks so much, Pantor. Thank you, Stephen Whitman. Hey Titans, missed your last stream. Just lost another $1,100 worth of my Space Marines due to the GW removing them. Any advice on how to keep motivated in the hobby? It's really hard. Lost so much lately.
Yeah, it's rough times. You and me both. I have 30 scouts that are good.
Well, regular scouts are still in, right?
No.
Scouts with snipers are out.
No.
They're both gone?
They're both gone.
Oh.
And bike scouts, I think.
Wow, bike scouts should have been gone ages ago.
They're mostly
should have been gone 10 years ago.
They were painted by Adrian and built by Bridger here.
I did build those.
Yeah.
Somewhat okay.
No, they were actually good.
Well,
we put like the Tempestus heads on them.
Two right hands, John. I don't know if you knew that. A lot of them have two right hands.
Because
most of them have two right hands.
You could do the double chainsaw.
Because finding a left-handed chainsword, good luck. There's not many of them in the whole game.
Anyways, I got one game in with Brett, I think, with those, and I haven't played them ever.
Those were like halfway through 8th edition. Those are old.
Those are old.
You got those a long time
ago.
And
I've played one game, and now I can never play them again.
Yeah.
I'm lighting them on fire.
Well.
That was not in one of Bridger's 4 options.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was kind of the 4th option. I just didn't want to say it.
Replacing them with Terminator.
Look, it's an unpleasant situation, but I think this is. We all deal with loss differently.
There's the 5 stages of grief.
We have to come to acceptance that we don't control Games Workshop, and they're gonna do what they're gonna do.
And it controls us.
And I think it's healthy if you're feeling bad about anything in your life to step away from it. That like you don't have to say I'm done forever. I think that's often an absurdist approach.
Yeah.
Which is the equivalent of burning your army, is like I'm done forever. I think it's just a bridge too far. It doesn't make any sense. Leave the door open, right? Yeah. Always consider coming back. But like, if something is upsetting you, don't keep doing it.
Right.
You can step away for your health and just enjoy life, be outside.
Maybe start playing Magic the Gathering.
Well, I don't want to like push another toxic hobby on you, but like, just do whatever makes you happy. You don't have to, like, we have deep investments in this game, which makes us feel in a certain way, but all I'm saying is you don't have to feel that way.
Yeah, Steven, I think if you look at anyone who's played Warhammer for more than a decade, they have for sure taken breaks. Yeah. I've taken many, many breaks. I've been playing Warhammer since I was like 7. Yep. And when I was in high school, I think I played maybe a handful of games. Yep. Like I've taken so many breaks. College, barely played. I know Adrian didn't play in college. People take breaks.
Yeah.
So don't feel bad about it. Just got to re-energize, man.
Yeah.
Do what you're passionate about. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thank you, Chronix1011. Bridger, screw Warhammer. Not really. What's some? I just didn't. Is that actually is that a cuss word? No, I'm gonna
No?
go with no. What's some
No.
good Taco Bell secrets? Also, as a trap, why is Mel your favorite co-host? Also, hi John. John?
Hi.
He didn't know how to spell it. That's what there were two spellings.
Oh yeah, it's John Jon because yeah. How do I spell my name again?
He didn't know what to say.
No, yes, the name is Jonathan. I just take off
Now,
part of it. John is just
just
easier
to
to
be
say.
clear, John, that did not clarify the spelling. You can spell Jonathan both ways.
Jon, John, J. Yeah, no H.
You just keep saying your name, which can be
Jon.
spelled both ways.
No H. That's what I said. No, Adrian's laughing at me.
Okay. Taco Bell. Taco Bell. The whole menu is just arrangements of the same ingredients. Everything is better with sour cream, which is the deluxe or supreme. Sorry. If you get a taco, it's probably just better if you get it supreme. Just find the combination of ingredients and shell that you enjoy. Some popular things. Crunchwrap Supreme. Mwah, very good.
That's literally all the things. It's like all the decisions in one.
It's quite good. Yeah.
It's like soft wrap, hard wrap.
Yeah. All the ingredients.
Everything. All the ingredients they possibly
inside.
could have.
They do have some seasonal stuff that's usually quite good. One of the seasonal things right now is a fried chicken taco. So they basically put chicken tenders in a taco, except it's actually quite crispy. It's good. Adrian even said it's quite good and he would order it. Of all the things, he hated everything else. But that was the one thing where he was like, that was really good. I would actually get that.
Okay, Taco Bell has seasonal food, which leads me to my next question. Do they have pumpkin spice in the fall? Are they going to have some
No.
taco pumpkin spice?
No. Their seasonal foods are like...
Their seasonal food is like Mexican pizza.
Well, it's like we're legally
season.
not allowed to make this year-round. The factory that makes it would turn into a toxic dump if we made it year-round. So instead, we make it like 3 months at a time. I think, honestly, it's just a trick to generate demand.
Yes, it is. 100%.
It's like the Shamrock Shake. You only want it because it's not there all the time. Then you have it and it's bad.
A McRib.
But these are actually good.
I will say, as like a non-Taco Bell goer all the time, like I dip into Taco Bell sometimes.
Yeah.
I think for the price, like cinnamon twist, super good price. It's like $1, less than $1, for a bunch of cinnamon twists. And then also, I like the Nacho Bell Grande. I think if you're not into Taco Bell items, Nacho Bell Grande is just, it's just nachos. It's just nachos. So, boom. That's me. You didn't ask me, but
There's a menu item for everyone. I don't like their nachos. But that's the thing about Taco Bell. There's a menu item for everyone. Why is Mel, my favorite co-host, she's fun to rib Adrian with, to be honest. She's like a pro at ribbing Adrian. Yeah. It's like it's 8 of her 24 hours every day.
I appreciate that. I will say, anytime that it's me, you, and Adrian on the drive over is like has to ask me to not be so mean to him.
He has to like build up the defenses.
The interaction effect of me
Gotta
and Bridger
prep
is just
himself.
massive trolling on Adrian.
Too much damage. Too much damage.
Well, thanks so much, Chronix. Thank you, Loki. L2 Loki. How do you feel about Necron Lichguard over Warriors? I feel like LG do everything Warriors can do, but better for less points and less support. Warrior shooting is just so bad. Only good at killing chaff.
I agree, Loki. I don't know how Bridger feels, but Lichguard with the shield, very good. They are, at this point, very close to unkillable. You get some Crypto Thralls in there, you give them the Overlord Resorb.
Close, but not actually unkillable, though. That's the thing.
Like Abaddon could kill a block.
Right. So the reason that I will never not take, like if I were playing competitively, I would never leave home without the 20-man with Oricon and an Overlord and Crypto Thralls.
It's a good combo.
The reason is there's almost nothing in the entire game that can kill it, period. And it will all come back, period. The 4-up invuln in combination with having 20 bodies is what makes it truly unkillable. 10 Lichguard with a 4-up invuln, great. Yeah, they're tough. You know what? They're tough.
I mean...
But they can die which means they're not doing the same job.
It is the same amount of wounds.
Multi-damage guns.
Yeah.
24 of invuln bodies? Just doing the math on that, you have to get
How did they
40...
How did they get the Field of Pain? 5-up Field of Pain?
It's only on the Crypto Thralls that have 5-up Field of Pain.
No, they have a 4-up Field of Pain.
Nope.
And then they have an access to 5-ups somehow. I think it's from a Technomancer? Yeah.
But you can't have all of those things. You can't get everything.
Yeah, you can.
You can't also put a Technomancer in there?
You can have an Overlord, a Technomancer, and Crypto Thralls.
But then you don't have Oricon.
Then you don't have Oricon.
So you don't have the 4-up.
Well, Oricon's going with the Warriors or something.
Oh, you're putting this in Lichguard.
Lichguard.
Nah. I think the beauty of Lichguard
I'm trying to make the argument for Lichguard.
You slap a character on there and you're done. I like both units. They just don't do the same thing. Warriors are truly invincible and have a ton of OC that floods an objective.
Yeah.
Possibly two.
They have a bigger, like they can, yeah, exact two.
Big footprint.
They have a big footprint, right? So there's pros and cons.
But it's apples and oranges. They don't do the same thing. These two units are not in the list for. You can have both. Yeah. They're not in the list for the same reason. They're similar. They're adjacent. They both are midboard bullies. Yeah.
And also to Bridger's point, there's not a lot in the Necron army, especially in the more competitive armies where you're taking big guns, big expensive guns. There's not a lot of things that clear chaff. So maybe them only being good at killing chaff is actually a pro for those warriors. You're usually taking Doomsdays, you're taking heavy Locust Destroyers with big guns.
Doomsdays do have 20 small shots.
Never mind, I concede.
They have a lot of small shots. But it's a useful unit to have as a third Overwatch target with a free strat. It's a great, look, don't sleep on the 20-man warrior blob. Yeah. It's insane.
Look, we're running both on Saturday. You can make the decision then. What did it better?
Adrian, you're
what
in
wore
trouble.
it better?
I'm coming for you,
he
bud.
He has Abadoo, man.
I don't care.
Abs of Steel, apparently.
Necron. Do I have a monolith?
No, you don't have. How are you gonna fit that much? What am I, made out of points?
Should have made it work, John. Should have made it work. Thanks so much, Loki. Come and check us out on Saturday to see your super chat in real time. Thank you, Mossig. Given the recent controversy in the LSO event, do you have any guidelines for newer players, mainly new tournament players, when in big events? Anything to look out for outside of Trust Me Bro rules?
So this is the Lone Star Open. This is a frontline gaming
is
event.
this the Tau guy?
I don't know of any
is this the Tau guy?
controversy. I know there might have been.
Bridger
doesn't follow any of like the tournament rankings or anything or factions. He just follows the drama, apparently.
So
I don't know.
I have heard through the grapevine that there was a player at an event. This player played Tau, and that they won a bunch of games, and then all their opponents went home and were like,
"Wait a minute!"
They were like, "Man, that sounds really good. Like, maybe too good." And then they talked to their friends who played Tau, and their friends were like, "No, Tau don't do any of those things you just said." And then they talked to each other, and they were like, "Oh, you also played? So he in all of his games he played. Oh, Tau don't do that.
Oh,
no. And maybe that is what we're talking about here, because I actually don't know which event it was.
It makes sense of like the Trust Me Bro rules. I don't know.
So the thing I would say to a new player is that the GW app has every data sheet.
Yeah, that's like what a lot of good players do. They'll just have their opponent's rules in front of them, and it's always good to have contingencies. Like, yeah, your opponent is keeping score for the table, but also you keep score because you never know. There's things happen. People make mistakes intentionally or unintentionally. And you just want to make sure you have the most accurate reading of every rule or interaction, right? So this is good staple, good tournament play. That's what you want to do. And if it's a major rule, like if something big is happening, just clarify a rule. It's more easy than ever now to just ask for the player's card. He hands over the card, you read the rule, and then that's it. No big deal. It's something strong, so you should know what the rule is, even just for your own knowledge for next time. You know. You can come at it from a learning perspective.
Yeah.
So things like that. is just staples of what you should be doing.
And like handling these social scenarios is a major part of competitive Warhammer. Back in 8th edition, we weren't streamers. We didn't know all the rules all the time. We just played the game. And this was a skill that we had to develop, you and I, as like budding competitive players. And we got really good at saying, like, oh, does that, like, the way that you propose the question, the way that you ask is important, the timing, like, sometimes you don't want to interrupt your opponent's turn, so you look it up on the app yourself, or, you know, oh, where, are you getting that reroll from this thing, or, like, is that an enhancement? Right. Like, what's the range on that? There are ways to ask questions that are totally inoffensive and don't upset people, and you can just confirm, because sometimes they'll be like, oh, I'm out of range, sorry. Let me fix that. Or like,
right. You can just like,
I'm not in range of that
what's
character.
the range of that guy?
Right.
And then he goes to check, or he says 24, and then he goes to check, oh, I'm not in range. Let me, fix this.
I think the easiest way and the best way, oftentimes when you're asking questions, is to just be like, act dumb, right? Like, oh, is that, like, I had no idea. What is that? Even if you're like dead set, you pretty much know. It's just generally better to ask for information in my sense. Than to be like, oh, I'm pretty sure that's 18. Like, because people immediately get on the defensive.
Yeah,
right.
It's like color commentary. You're just like asking, even if you know the answer to the dumb question, you ask it because it makes people feel good.
Yeah. And there's always like that beginning of game spiel that you do with your opponent. Like, you can always just say like, hey, this is my first tournament in a while. I'm here to learn and just have a good time. Just want to let you know, give me some more information about your list than usual, right? Or just set that precedent of like, hey, I'm going to ask a lot of questions.
Yep, reading is hard. So we all trying our best.
Yeah,
good question.
Have fun at your tournaments.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Lord Alfarius. Is it a great idea for knights to lose towering and bringing back obscuring to the game? Despite doing so well, weaken knights like early 9th. What should GW do to fix knights without making them trash?
Yeah, and this is a hard needle to thread, right? Because you can't just take away towering and let them be obscuring again, or let them, play with obscuring, because there's a lot of rules that are balanced around towering. They have been points to have towering in mind. They've been points, or they have output with towering in mind. At least GW did, and so now they'll have to like rework a different balance there.
Yeah, I think this is tricky because like knights have been brought down from S tier competing for winning events to A tier gatekeeper. And it's largely even still just Imperial Knights. Like Chaos Knights, I don't even think
Chaos
are A tier.
Knights shouldn't even be compared.
Right. They're a very different army now.
And if you change one, especially taking away towering, you have to change the other. And they're definitely not equal in terms of power levels. So someone's going to get the poopy end of that stick if you don't consider points costs and durability, damage output.
But I think I'm okay with them being in the role of A tier gatekeeper. I think.
What other role have they ever played?
But lots of other armies have had A tier gatekeeper status for a long time and not really seen an issue. But like Thousand Suns are almost always A tier gatekeeper. They're not really an S tier army, but they're usually not bad.
Yeah, they're always the second best.
But nobody ever complained. They're like, oh man, Thousands. Every time I play Thousand Suns, I lose. Like people don't complain because they're rare. And knights are very common. And you can play an army that just never has a chance against knights. They're an A tier gatekeeper. They're going to keep you out. That feels bad because you see them a lot. Knights are common. But I think if people let knights settle into A tier gatekeeper, you'll move on.
Yeah, of course. Like the environment will cater towards them now. Like where you're bringing like X amount of Laskins, and you know if you get that matchup, they're dead. Like you'll just have that figured out, and it just takes time. People have to realize that knights are a thing. You have to cater towards them. So that's what it is.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. And last one for the evening. Thank you again, Chronix. I was forgetting something. Rarely here live. September 5th, 2020, I super chatted on my wedding day. January 1st, 2021, I announced we were trying to have a baby via super chat. On February 8th, 2023, I had a baby girl.
Woo! I'm so proud of you.
This
That is
the
so
cutest.
amazing. thank you for sharing like those huge events with us. That is, we are, I don't know, flabbergasted.
Wow. We've been doing this a long time. People have lives that have had like important moments in the span, like within the realm of, within the boundaries of this channel. Yeah. That's wild.
That is amazing. Well, congratulations. Hope they are doing wonderful and that your family is thriving.
Yes, absolutely.
Can't wait to see them on the tabletop in like 8 to 10 years.
Crawling around.
Oh, yeah, we could see
them on tabletop, like.
Hopefully they're not crawling anymore.
Like pet pick of the week, like just crawling around on the table.
Please do not submit your
under the
babies
terrain.
for pet pick of the week.
I mean, they're kind of.
Someone will do it once and they'll get away with it because it'll be so cute. We'll put it in.
I will not be putting babies on stream. I will not
Babies
be putting.
are kind of like.
Nope. I will not be showing images of babies. I'm just making. I'm making a channel
babies
executive
are so
decision.
Cute. What if we blur out all of the identifying features of the baby and you just have like a cute...
Nope. If you feel comfortable, you should totally share pictures on the Discord, in which they will stay on the Discord and not make it onto the stream.
Okay.
We can put like a little...
I might print them out.
Little cat emoji on the face.
Print it out, sneak it onto the stream.
No.
Like, look at this cute baby. I get my photo. Look at this cute baby.
Well, we'll have an HR meeting later, Richard. It sounds like it's going to be fun. Well, thank you so much, Chronix. Honestly, that super chat made my week.
Yeah.
We are so excited, and thanks for being part of our family. And that's all we have for the night, my friends.
That's a good note to end it on.
That's an amazing note.
Yeah.
With that...
and now, over to you.
No, we both thought the other person would do it.
With that, thank you so much, chat, for joining us. Mel, you've been amazing. Bridger, you've been amazing.
Aww.
We will catch you next time on the tabletop. Bye.
Bye.